All right, let's dive right in. We're looking at a critical analysis from the VCCA blog all about audit-ready marketing. Now, if you're a securities dealer in Seychelles, listen up, because your website is about to be put under a microscope. There are new, incredibly strict compliance standards coming, and what you used to think of just a marketing tool, well, it's now your #1 liability. So let's break down exactly what you need to do to get your site audit-ready for 2025. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? The era of tucking a tiny disclaimer away in the footer where no one sees it, that's over. Gone. Regulators are demanding complete, unavoidable transparency. What used to be an afterthought is now a critical, front-and-center checkpoint for your compliance. So, here's our game plan. We'll start with the new standard for transparency. Then we'll get into the 3 main pillars of compliance: that big risk warning, all the required policies, and how you assess client suitability. And we'll wrap up by showing you how getting all this right can actually give you a serious competitive edge. Okay, let's start with the big picture. The Financial Services Authority, the FSA, is the top regulator in Seychelles, and they've just rolled out a major overhaul that's all about protecting clients. What this means for you is that your website isn't just for marketing anymore, it's now pretty much the first piece of evidence in any regulatory audit. These changes are being driven by 2 key laws you see here. The 2024 securities regulations dictate what you can and can't say in your advertising, and the Financial Consumer Protection Act from 2022 basically sets up your duty of care. You put them together, and suddenly your website is right in the regulator's crosshairs. It's an instant test of your entire compliance culture. Now for our first pillar, the risk warning. And this is where the new rules get really specific. It's not just about what you say, it's about precisely how and where you say it. We're talking everything from the exact text to its visual presentation on the page. This right here is your 4-point checklist. You absolutely have to follow it. Your risk warning needs to be sticky, meaning it's fixed at the top of the screen. It has to stay there, visible even when a client scrolls down the page. The whole thing must be in bold text and inside a bordered box. And here's the kicker. You have to explicitly state the risk of unlimited losses. Vague language just won't cut it anymore. The Financial Consumer Protection Act also comes down hard on marketing fluff. Any phrases like guaranteed profits or zero-risk trading, totally off limits now. The new standard is actually pretty simple. Every single claim you make has to be something you can objectively prove. All your communication has to be transparent, honest, and fair. Period. Okay, moving on to our second pillar, policies and disclosures. The FSA's mission here is total transparency. The idea is that any potential client has to be able to find, read, and understand all of your legal documents before they even start thinking about signing up with you. So, what does that actually mean for your website? Think of this as your must-have disclosure list. You need to clearly show your full legal name, your FSA license number so people can easily check it, and your registered address. Every single trade name and domain you use has to be on that license. And all your key policies have to be right there, ready to download from the second someone lands on your site. And it's not enough to just upload the files. A broken link is a compliance failure. I mean, if a client clicks on your privacy policy and gets a 404 not found error, you have officially failed to disclose that information. So the practical takeaway here is simple, but so important. You need to be doing a monthly broken link audit on your entire website. Our third pillar, suitability, is where your website goes from being a passive brochure to an active compliance tool. It's no longer just about putting information out there. It's about actively collecting it to figure out who your clients are and assess their tolerance for risk. The regulations now require you to classify every single client as either retail or professional. A retail client is your everyday investor who needs the highest level of protection. A professional could be an experienced trader or an institution. Your website sign-up process has to clearly sort people into one of these 2 buckets because the protections and disclosures are completely different for each. And for those of you offering complex, high-risk products, this is the main question your system has to answer. You now have a serious duty of care to determine if a specific product is really a good fit for a specific client. So how does that work? Well, your digital onboarding has to have this 3-step workflow. 1, you collect data on the client's financial situation, their knowledge, their experience. 2, you analyze that data to figure out if the product is suitable for them. And 3, and this is the really critical part, if it's a mismatch, you have to explicitly warn the client and get their direct acknowledgement before they can proceed. So, after all these strict rules, let's kind of bring it all home. I know it can feel like a really heavy burden, but if you have the right perspective, you can actually turn these requirements from a huge liability into a real business asset.
Here's the key takeaway. Nailing your compliance isn't just about avoiding fines. It's a powerful signal to the market. It tells potential partners and high-value clients that your firm is serious, that you're built on solid governance, and that you protect your clients. And in today's market, trust me, that is a huge competitive advantage.
The direction from regulators in Seychelles is crystal clear. It's all about substance and investor protection now. So that just leaves one final crucial question to think about. Is your website ready for what's coming? Don't wait for an audit to find out. The time to get ready is now.